but it seems to me like during the peak of this whole thing, like Hollywood was like trying to do the DEI thing, but they did it just totally wrong because they replaced like typically lead male characters oftentimes, other ones too, but that's the ones I kind of note, like seems like a big deviation to like other ethnicities, but they couldn't stop there. Like they had to make them like super emotional and most likely, if not gay, borderline gay, like totally pretty. And it's like, okay, it's like they gotta replace like a Clint Eastwood character who's like this super I don't know, stoic person or whatever, and then you change the ethnicity. It's like, okay, maybe it doesn't really possibly work with the place that you're at, and it seems kind of like can't you make, like, it seems like you should just make a new story, if you're gonna, because then because that would be a better way to go, because then you would have a story that fits, everything would fit, but no, they're gonna say, it's like, okay, I could go with that, but then they make like the Clint Eastwood character basically gay and like totally emotional, like gay kind of thing, and it's like, okay, that doesn't really work because that's a behavioral characteristic that's kind of, it's not exact. So then you end up with like we've ended up with a whole generation of like minority, like movies with minorities in them, but they couldn't stop it making them minorities. They had to make them all gay, which is like, if I was like, I'd be like, that's not helping. Like, it seems to me you didn't, like, that's, it's not what we were looking for. I don't know. Anyway, that's how I kind of feel. But anyway, so Hollywood's new genre, emotional blackmail. It's emotional blackmail. You ever notice that Hollywood has a new rule book? And by rule book, I mean a checklist written by the most sensitive people on earth. The same folks who need a wellness break after watching a car commercial with sad music, because now everything in Hollywood is based on emotional blackmail. All of Hollywood is based on emotional blackmail at this time. And I don't mean the sneaky, manipulative kind. I mean the woke kind, the almost always gay kind of emotional blackmail. I mean, they're like, you will love this character, you're a monster. It doesn't matter if the writing's awful, doesn't matter if the plot is incoherent, doesn't matter if the acting is basically 4D TikTok audition. No, you gotta clap like a trained seal for the emotional blackmail, which is typically, an overly gay person that they put in that was a stoic person before they changed this thing, or you get canceled by brunch, for crying out loud. Now, I think things are shifting now. I think things are getting better, but let's just take a look back at some of the highlights just so we remember. Let's not forget the craziness. So the prime example here is like Doctor Who. Okay, I'm not a huge Doctor Who fan, but my understanding was that he was a scientist, kind of character, which you would think would have a degree of craziness, but somewhat stoicism to it, as he's like, trying to figure things out, right? So the franchise that used to be about science, logic, time travel, and clever problem solving now turned into a 45-minute emotional support session with lasers. Enter the cutie Gatwa. This is the prime example. This is not what, if this is not what I think this is not what like most people were kind of looking for like representation. You have to choose one thing that you're trying to represent, and then you have to figure out like the story where the thing would fit, and then you do it, right? Because you could put a stoic scientist in there, that makes sense, but then they had to take the extra edge, and they have to make him gay, basically, which doesn't seem to fit like this place, right? Hollywood screams, this is the modern audience doctor. And I'm sitting here like, modern audience? What modern audience? There's only the audience in the present, the contemporary audience, live in, you got to live in the now, people. You got to live in the now. I think they're like, the modern audience is the thing that they're always projecting or thinking that that's what's going to happen in the future or something. And they're already Like, no, you have to live in the now. What is the audience now? Like, what do they want? And this isn't it. I don't think that was it. At least, particularly for the you're trying to market an IP towards the people that liked the IP because you're trying to make money off of it. And like if the doctor is crying all the time, because look, this guy isn't just expressive, he's freakishly expressive. This is what I'm talking about with the emotional blackmail. This is too much emotion. Too much emotion. They should the show would be much better with less emotional blackmail, right? Particularly on the emotion side. You can have the stoic scientist is the one that's kind of what they're looking for, at least, or an eccentric scientist. Okay. This guy's supposed to be a science. He's a genius. He's a cosmic intellect. He's a time lord. Instead, he acts like the universe is one big group therapy circle, and he's about to pass around the talking stick. The doctor used to say run. Now he says, I just need a minute. Excuse me, I just need a minute. And this isn't Doctor Who. This is Doctor, why are you crying again? Why are you crying again? You need to save the world. You're not supposed to be the one crying. You got to take action. Hollywood keeps calling this progress. I call it what it is. It's emotional blackmail, man. It's too emotional. Emotional blackmail with the emotional part emphasized. Look, I don't care who plays the doctor. Just stop turning every sci-fi show into a group hug with CGI. Sometimes I just want the universe saved, not sobbed on.